Now to Decision 2010, fallout in Washington after a big Republican vote on Election Day.
Over the last 2 years, we've made progress, but clearly too many Americans haven't felt that progress yet, and they told us that yesterday. And as president, I take responsibility for that.
The new majority here in Congress will be the voice of the American people, and I think we clearly expressed that last night. We're going to continue and renew our efforts for a smaller, less costly, and more accountable government here in Washington, D.C.
But what I think the American people are expecting, and what we owe them, is to focus on those issues that affect their jobs, their security, and their future.
Here's a look at where things stand on Capitol Hill right now. In the U.S. House, Republicans have a 239 to 185 seat majority. There are 11 races still up in the air tonight. Over in the U.S. Senate, Democrats have 52 seats, Republicans 46. 2 of those seats still too close to call in the U.S. Senate.
Susie, as we found out last night, Decision 2010 marks some big changes in the makeup of government at both the state and federal level. So how does this compare to the elections of past? Political reporter Rick Alvin examining that for us tonight, Rick.
It's not exactly apples to apples, but it is an interesting change. And just 2 years ago, when there was the vote for hope and change, 24 months later, it looks a lot different, particularly here in Michigan. Let's take a look at this from last night. This is the way the map shapes up. Everything in red would be a Republican vote. Everything in blue or shaded otherwise would lean more towards the Democrats. So last night, 59-41 with all precincts reporting, the Republicans take the state of Michigan. With it, the state Senate, the state House, and at least 2 new members of the United States House of Representatives. This is what it looked like 2 years ago. I understand this is a presidential election. I appreciate that there are a couple million more voters here, but still you get an idea of the mood. Look at all of the blue compared to last night's red. Let's take Kent County, for example. 2 years ago, 50-50. First time since 1964 that Kent County voted for a Democratic presidential candidate. Last night, 70-30 for the Republican. So in just 2 years, the sentiments of the voters go from 50-50 to 70-30. You can do this all over the place. Even in Wayne County, you can see at 61-39, look at this, 75-25. Obviously turning out many, many more voters in Wayne County for a presidential election. Just part of what happened last night was this big shift in just 2 years. And that's part of what we're seeing across the country, but we're also seeing that voters still are dissatisfied and that these Republicans and those elected across the country will have to perform, or 2 years from now, we may be looking at a totally different map. Brian?
Thank you, Rick. And our new governor, Rick Snyder, is talking to us tonight. How does he plan on getting started when he heads to Lansing? We'll have that answer for you in less than 5 minutes. And if you want to check out how the race is finished on your ballot, we've got them all for you. You can find them online at woodtv.com.